Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but I'm back, I'm here, and I have an amazing video for you today. What I want to talk about with you today are the top 5 mistakes that you could be making if you are pursuing body recomp goals. Now, body recomposition is when you aim to burn fat and build muscle at the same exact time. Yes, it is possible. Yes, you can do it. However, if you want to do it, you need to avoid making these 5 mistakes. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly how to fix it as well. I'm not just going to list out a bunch of mistakes and then leave you hanging. I'm going to tell you how to fix these things so you can start seeing the results that you want to see. Now, if you don't already know too much about body recomposition, I highly recommend you go back and watch one of my previous videos where I outline literally everything you need to know about body recomp, like everything. And I also have a whole playlist on my TikTok, all body recomp related, all body recomp content. So if you need to learn more about it before you watch this video, go do that right now. Okay, so let's get into it. Mistake number 1, you are either eating too little or you are eating too much. With body recomp, we want to be centered around our maintenance calories. So if we're eating too much, sure, you'll put on muscle, but you might put on a little bit more fat than you were intending to. And if we're eating too little, sure, you might be burning a ton of fat, but you might not be doing the muscle growth aspect of things that we want to see with body recomposition. In order to fix this, first you need to have a fantastic estimation of your maintenance calories. Finding your maintenance calories is never going to be an exact process. It really just comes down to finding an estimation because there really isn't a tool to tell you exactly what it is, like down to the T. So find an estimation of your maintenance calories and then deviate from there. You want to be within 100 to 250 calories, either above or below your maintenance depending on your goals. Below your maintenance for a fat loss emphasis, above maintenance for a muscle growth emphasis, or right smack in the middle of your maintenance for true body recomp, which is when you're burning fat and building muscle at the same time. We're not emphasizing anything. Mistake number 2, while we're on the topic of nutrition, you are not getting in enough protein. You are slacking on your protein game, bestie. And we know, you should know. If you don't know, now you're gonna know. Protein intake is so important for muscle growth. The more muscle you have on your body, the more efficiently your metabolism works, therefore the more fat you will burn. And if you're pursuing body recomp goals, you want to burn fat and also build muscle at the same time. But we can't have that muscle growth factor really come into play if we're not ingesting enough protein on a daily basis. Now, there's a ton of talk of how much protein you should be eating on a daily basis. I have multiple recommendations. Ultimately, it comes down to picking the best method that feels best for you. There's a variety of different ways you can go about protein. The bare minimum, like one of the easiest methods I think, or at least easiest to start with, is to aim for at least 100 grams of protein per day, minimum. Like set that as a minimum for yourself. If you get more than 100, awesome. If you get right at 100, that's great too. Work your way up to that 100 gram mark before you start thinking about doing anything higher. Another method that I see talked about a lot that has a variety of different opinions on it, but again, it can work for you if it feels good for you, is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. You can also do 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal body weight, or you could do 1 gram of protein per body weight in kilograms. If that feels like a lot for you, you can change that 1 gram of protein to 0.8. That will make it a little bit less. But again, I always go back to at least 100 grams. If you're getting more than that, we love to see it. Now, if you're slacking on protein, you're probably struggling to find good, solid protein sources. One of my favorite all-time methods for increasing your protein intake in a way that is not overwhelming, it is not daunting, it is not all at once, it's not chugging protein shakes. I mean, if you want to do that, you can, but we don't have to. We don't have to do that here. So one of my favorite ways to get in more protein every single day is to think about how you can add more protein to each meal to bump that meal up to at least 30 grams. So if we're eating 3 meals a day and your meals are at least 30 grams of protein, that's 90 grams of protein right there. So then all you have to do is think about dispersing that extra 10 grams of protein. That could be not even a very big protein shake. That could be a yogurt with, you know, whatever. Getting 10 grams of protein in is a lot easier to think about to hit that 100 gram mark than thinking about how am I going to get in 100 grams and thinking about that all at once. So for every meal that you eat, aim to make it at least 30 grams of protein. If you get over 30 grams of protein, then you're going to get closer to that 100 gram mark at the end of the day. But remember, when we're making changes to food, these things do not have to happen all at once overnight. Do a complete 180. Take food changes slow. Work on increasing your daily protein intake slowly over time. Experiment with ways to get in more protein. Experiment with different meals. all the things. Take your time, this is not a race. Moving on to mistake number 3. You are not utilizing progressive overload on as many exercises as you possibly can. Now, progressive overload is when we aim to do more over time. This could be more weight, more reps, improve your form, increase the time under tempo, time under tension, increase the tempo. So it's not just doing more weight over time. It's just getting better, doing more over time. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is people either just not doing this at all and doing the same amount of sets and the same amount of reps for every exercise every single week, not challenging themselves, not changing anything, just doing the same. Or they're only focusing on doing progressive overload with a couple of their exercises and then doing the same for everything else. But you can maximize your progress and maximize your gains by utilizing progressive overload as often as possible on as many exercises as possible, including your accessory moves, not just the big lifts like the squats, your deadlifts, your bench. No, I'm talking about the accessory movements like your kickbacks, your lunges, your bicep curls, your tricep extensions, literally any weight-bearing exercise. If you could use progressive overload on it, try to do so as much as possible. And if you're not using progressive overload like at all, just focus on those main exercises and then integrate it more with your accessory moves over time. Again, we're not trying to do a total 180 switcheroo out of nowhere. Slow baby steps and you will get there. Be patient with yourself. And the reason that progressive overload is so important just goes back again to muscle growth. Your muscles need challenge in order to grow. And I don't mean challenge as changing your exercises all the time. This could be like mistake like 3.5 is changing your exercises every single week. You want to keep your exercises relatively the same so you can do progressive overload, because you can't get better at something over time if you are changing it all the time. So we have to keep some things consistent and keep some things the same. Where we get that variation and get that more excitement is by doing progressive overload and changing things up in that regard, not the exercise itself. I hope that makes sense. Now, our 4th mistake is doing too much high intensity cardio. Now, if you're a runner, you like to run, you like the endorphins that come with it, I have no problem with that. I am all about doing exercise that you genuinely enjoy. Now, the only reason you want to be careful with how much high intensity cardio you do is because it could affect your calories, your maintenance, where you're at. So, for example, say you are pursuing true body recomp, you're right at your maintenance, but you run every single day on top of lifting. That could just cause you to burn more calories than you intend, putting you more of a deficit, which would hinder your muscle growth. So it really just comes down to how many calories you're burning, and it could take you out of where you want to be. Another example is if you are in a muscle growth emphasis phase of body recomp, and you do too much high intensity cardio, that could take you out of your surplus, and then you're not going to see that muscle growth emphasis that you are working so hard for in the gym. So if you like high intensity cardio, by all means keep doing it. I'm not gonna tell you to stop doing something that you love, but just keep an eye on how it affects your progress and keep an eye on the frequency. You might have to tone it down a little bit if you feel like your progress is being hindered. Just something to be mindful of. And now our 5th, and arguably one of the most important mistakes or notable mistakes that people make, is expecting to see progress very, very quickly. It is no secret, and if you didn't know this, you're gonna find out, that body recomp progress does take longer than if you were to do traditional cut and bulk cycles. Because it takes longer, you're going to need more patience, and you're going to need to trust the process, trust what you're doing, trust in your program, and really dedicate at least 6 months, if not a year to 2 years, to body recomp to really see the results that you want to see. If you are looking for drastic results, specifically drastic results that happen very quickly, you might want to explore cut and bulk cycles instead of body recomp. But if you have the patience, you're fine with dedicating at least a year, if not 2 years to it, you're going to be able to trust the process, go for it. But do not expect results to happen super, super quick. You will set yourself up for disappointment. Again, it does take longer than traditional cut and bulk cycles, so just keep that in mind when you are pursuing body recomp. And this is a mistake because people will forget about this, not even know this, and expect to see results within like 2 or 3 months, or significant results, I'll say, in 2 or 3 months. They don't, and then they think what they're doing is not working, they get discouraged, they give up, all of that. Do not give up if you don't see significant results in a few months. That is highly unlikely. Again, it takes a lot longer, so just trust the process. Try not to rush it. So that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope that you found that helpful and insightful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And don't forget to follow me over on other socials, on TikTok and Instagram. I am very active over there. I post other stuff related to body recomp. Again, on TikTok, I have a whole playlist, and that playlist, she is full with body recomp content. So if there's anything that you see in my TikTok playlist that you want me to expand upon and make a longer form video such as this one, just let me know and I'm happy to do so. But thank you for being here. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, bestie. Let's be friends. Again, let me know if you have any questions. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video.